Alafia, and welcome back to the online Ifa classroom. My name is David Graham. I also go by Awo Ifa Foray at the Ifa Foundation International. And for those of you that are joining us for the first time, the online Ifa classroom is quite simply a online lecture series, if you will, for those interested in learning more about the Ifa philosophy that want to take it slow and go through the learning process in a series of short videos rather than diving into publications, online articles, etc. It's designed for the brand new person to simply hit YouTube, hit the foundation site, watch some videos, and gain a very cursory bit of knowledge about what Ifa is, what we do, how we do it, so that they can decide how they want to further explore, what questions they would like to ask, etc. When looking at doing the latest piece, I was torn on what to talk about next. We've talked about the Yoruba view of the universe. We've talked about ancestor worship. We've talked about the concept of Ori, or destiny. And I've been doing a lot of readings for people lately. And it occurred to me that I should probably do a piece on Ifa Divination. Since, as my Aluo and mentor would say, it is the linchpin of what we do. It is the glue that holds together our philosophy. And in my opinion, is the single biggest differentiator between the Ifa philosophy or the Ifa religion and other spiritual paradigms of the world. So that being said, let's dive into the subject of divination. What is it? Why is it? How does Ifa use it? And how can you benefit? Very briefly, Webster's dictionary defines divination as the practice of attempting to foretell the future events or discover hidden knowledge by occult or supernatural means. Yeah, I guess I'll buy that. But more practically, let's talk about what is Ifa divination. When people come to me for divination or to get a reading, as it is so commonly referred to, I think they come with misconceptions. They think that this is going to be similar to a tarot card reading or a crystal ball, as you see displayed behind me. Over there, not over there. It's for display purposes only. That's not how Ifa divination works. In Ifa, first of all, divination is performed on many different levels. There's a divination that you'll receive from a Babalao or an Ian Ife, our high priests and priestesses. There are divinations that are performed by Orisha priests, or in Santeria Lukumi, Santeros or Santeras. Very similar in concept, a different mechanism to execute the divination. There are even divinatory tools that can be used for the uninitiated. Those are called obi. But the basis, the concept of what we do is very different. Typically, people come to me because they want to know, are they going to get the job? Are they going to stay with their significant other? Are they going to find a significant other? Is a health issue going to be resolved? Etc., etc. And those subjects can be explored and those questions can be answered through Ifa divination. However, that was not the original intent of what we do. Quite simply, Ifa divination is designed to connect you at the highest level to your destiny path. Period. If you've been following this series of videos, you've already watched the video on Ori, the concept of destiny. And the Yoruba believe, quite simply, that there were two guarantees, and that was the day that you were born and the day that you were supposed to die. Every other event, every other path in your life could be forecast and, when needed, could be changed. That was the purpose of divination. The purpose of divination was to look at your life, look at the events, look at the path that you were walking, and tell you if that was the right direction to be going, to be in alignment with your destiny, or if you were going the wrong direction and something needed to happen to realign you at the highest level to your destiny. Now, that, of course, includes the work that you do, the relationships that you have, the family bonds, the health of your body, mind, and spirit, and all of those put together. But Ifa Divination was not simply about short-term events. It was a roadmap to the whole of your life. Let me give you a brief example. Oftentimes clients will come to me because they'll be having business issues, work issues, bumps in the road with their career or their business. It's not uncommon for them to come and sit down, and once the prayers have been said and the divining chain has been dropped, uh, it's also not uncommon to look across the table at the client and say, what's going on with your family? Or what's going on with your love life? What's going on with your health? And they'll say, but I'm here for divination to talk about my business. And lo and behold, when we dig through the details, the other issues, health issues, relationship issues, family issues, are what is affecting the business. And when you resolve one, you naturally resolve the other. And that is a way of demonstrating, again, the idea of keeping you in alignment with your destiny rather than talking about exactly what you want to talk about when you come for the reading. Now, all that being said, there are several different kinds of divinations that we perform here in Ifa. The first and easiest is what I call a tune-up divination. It's an everyday divination. And that is performed at my level as a Ifa priest using an opale, Divining Chain. Should have had this prepared for you guys, but here's an example of an opale Divining Chain. 2 sides, 4 shells on each side, markers at the bottom. The client will come, the Babalao or Inife will cast the Divining Chain, and we are given energy patterns that are displayed in binary code, 1s and 2s, or if you're a computer person, 0s and 1s. And the chain falls in a pattern that the Ifa priest will recognize, and they will say, look, these are the energies that are working in your life at the moment. The Inife or Babalao, the priest, will then let you know whether you are in balance, you're getting the most out of these energies, which are called Odu, by the way. If so, how do we supercharge that? How do we accentuate that for you? Or if you're out of balance and something is not in alignment, if there's a blockage or an impediment, or for some reason you're going the wrong direction, typically they can let you know how and let you know why. And then again, most importantly, prescribe you prayers, sacrifices to get past that and realign you at a highest level to your destiny. The other thing that the Ifa priest will do is they'll let you know what area of your life will be affected by these energies. Will it be health? Will it be business? Will it be romantic relationships? Will it be your destiny path as a whole? And I recommend that if you're a follower of Ifa or you want to undertake this at a deeper level, that you get a maintenance reading or a tune-up reading done at least every couple months, if not once a month, by a competent Ifa priest. The next kind of reading I want to talk about is what we call a guardian or a life path reading. Typically in Africa, these readings were done for a small child between the age of 3 and 7 days. And those are done with a whole different set of tools, which I won't pull down right now, but it's an opone and the ikin being the sacred palm nuts that we use, and the opone being a large flat wooden disc with some powder on it that markings are made into. This reading is different than your tune-up reading, your maintenance reading. This reading, if done properly, whether you're 7 days old or 70 years old, would never change. And several important things are identified here. The first and foremost is the Odu that you walk with for your entire journey here. We also identify energies for the subsets of your life. Again, overlaying your entire time here. Those are like the specialists. When you go to see a general practitioner versus a specialist in ear, nose, and throat, or a specialist in bones, etc. So what specialist do you need in destiny? What specialist do you need for your health? What specialist do you need for business? And by pulling out these energies, the Ifa priest can tell you ways to accentuate or play off in a positive way the energies that you selected for your time here. They can also identify what some patterns, behaviors, and energies may hinder you or may prove to be more difficult for you when you're here, both in your temporal everyday life and your emotional spiritual development. The part of this reading that everybody seems to always know is who is my guardian Orisha. That is also identified during this reading, am I a child of Shango? Am I a child of Yamaja? Am I a child of Oshun? We also can identify, to some extent, the guardian ancestor that you pick to walk with you while you're here. If you know the names of ancestors that were gone before you were conceived, then we can zero down on the exact ancestor. And you can focus on that ancestor when you're doing your ancestor worship. But all of this integrates into what we call the guardian life path reading. And again, that reading never changes, is always the same, and if done by a competent Ifa priest, provides you essentially a lifetime worth of information that you can use to make your life better. And that's the entire point of what we do. I highly suggest that anyone who is going to undertake this path, either as a student, as an Orisha priest, or someone who wants to be a Babalao or an Inife, start with getting a guardian life path reading done by a competent Ifa priest. It's longer than a typical reading. We can typically write down the information, if not audio tape it or videotape it for you so you have it for your whole life. And it will give you a wealth of information to start you on the path of Ifa. There are a few other readings that we do. There are Ikufa readings. Those are done monthly, and those are for everyone who has received a Rumula. I guess no discussion about divination would be complete without discussing a Rumula. So in this series, we will be talking about the Orisha, what the Orisha are, how the Orisha work, how we venerate or worship Orisha, make offerings to Orisha. But it's important to talk about a Rumula. And a Rumula is, number one, the prophet of our philosophy. He would be the first Ifa priest, or the first human to utilize Ifa to make life better and to get results. He is also referred to as the deity of wisdom and knowledge, the one who holds the keys to this philosophy. And he is the deity or the Orisha or the energy that an Ifa priest, an Ifa or a Babalao, is initiated into to do the work that they do. And he is the Orisha given as the sacred palm nuts contained in a vessel with the opon that we use to do the big divinations, the life path reading, the Ifa initiation reading when you receive your Rumula, and any other large ceremonies. Rumula is the deity of wisdom and knowledge that allows us to do what we do and continues to teach us, to mentor us, to allow us to practice this Ifa philosophy and allow us to pass it down to the next generation. So that's a little bit about Ifa Divination. Really is the tip of the iceberg. It's difficult to keep these videos short and sweet and to the point without going too far. But again, if you're looking to study this philosophy, if you're looking to get involved, if you're looking to become an Ifa priest or an Orisha priest, if you're looking to just have your life made better, I highly suggest that you undertake any or all of the readings that were discussed. All of them, quite simply, are there to connect you to your destiny at a higher level. Therefore, they will inherently make your life better if you do the work prescribed. It's that simple. One thing about Ifa Divination is the divination itself is never off. And Ifa will always bring you to dead center and set your feet back on the path to connect at the highest level to your destiny. We as humans may make a left, may make a right, but divination is there to bring you back to true center, true north, if you will, and get you going the direction that you need to go. So thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. As always, if you have any questions, you can email me directly through YouTube or at ifafore@ifafoundation.org. That's IFAFORE @ifafoundation.org. And until next time, take care of yourselves and take care of each other.